تفضل.
Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalam ala rasulillah. Continuing in Riyadh al-Salihin, Volume 1, Chapter 77, entitled Transgressions of Divine Law. Aisha radiallahu anha reported, the Quraysh were much worried about the case of a Makhzumiyya woman who had committed theft and wondered who should intercede for her with the Messenger of Allah, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, so that she should not get punished for her crime. Some said Usama bin Zayd radiallahu anhu was his beloved, and so he may dare to do so. So Usama radiallahu anhu spoke to him about that matter, and the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said to him, "Do you intercede when one of the legal punishment ordained by Allah has been violated?" Then he got up, addressed the people, saying, "The people before you were ruined because when a noble person amongst them committed theft, they would leave him. But if a weak person among them committed theft, they would execute the legal punishment on him. By Allah, wa Fatima radiallahu anha, the daughter of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, were to commit the theft, I would have her hand cut off." As Bukhari and Muslim. The example of Allah's Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam clearly tells us that no intercession is allowed for a person who transgresses the limits set by Allah. And if anybody has the audacity to do so, the deciding authority is presumed to be impervious to his solicitation. Nor should the criminal's social status or family influence, if any, obstruct the administration of justice. The law and retribution rise above all discrimination and social hierarchy. Any contravention of this in this regard is enough to incur divine wrath. Anas radiallahu anhu reported, the Prophet of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam noticed spittle in the mosque in the direction of the Qibla. The signs of disgust were perceived on his face. Then he stood up and scraped it away with his own hand and said, "When you stand in Salah, you hold communion with your Rabb, and he is between you and the Qibla. Let no one therefore cast out his spittle in that direction, but only to his left or under his foot." Then he caught hold a corner of his sheet, spat into it, and folded it up and said, "Or he should do like this." Bukhari and Muslim. Worshippers are under obligation to observe certain manners in the mosque, with the most important being abstinence from spitting toward Qibla. Instead, the method pointed out in the hadith may be put in effect right during Salah. Yet one, if not offering Salah, can turn to the mosque washing place where a channel exists for the overflow of unclean water, etc. Obviously, it is a better substitute for a pocket handkerchief or sheet, which should be used when necessary. Second, this hadith tells us that every effort should be made to keep the place of worship neat and clean. And if anyone finds some dirt in the mosque, he should immediately remove it. Walhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. End of
Bismillah,
chapter.
alhamdulillah, salatu wassalamu ala rasulillah. The first hadith, this will apply in case that the matter been known. So in this case, been known to the people or been taken before the government or the judge. Other than this, if a person commits a sin and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had covered his fault, so in this case can be avoided to be brought to the judge or to the government, and this will be between the person and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So if he did not go and seek the punishment and purify himself, so this is exempt. But after is it known, so nobody was supposed to go and interfere or intercede to try to persuade the judge or the government not to execute the capital punishment. So this issue here, that this after is been already known. And the problem here is that this woman was from a high rank tribe, Makhzumiyah. So, and we can see how the Prophet ﷺ gets so angry that for Zayd ibn Haritha, may Allah be pleased with him, went to seek assistance or using his position and the love of the Prophet ﷺ to him to be able to talk to him about it. But the Prophet ﷺ refused, and also he told us that what had caused destruction for the nations before them. Why? Because they did not treat the people equal. Okay? So people who have some kind of so-called high rank among them, or noble family, or things like this, they will push it under the rug, like they say, okay? Cover it up and don't worry about it. But if somebody who is not noble or is not have a status or anything, now they will execute him and show you understand the punishment. And this is not acceptable in the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows best. Okay.